My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC 263, we have Fares Ziam versus Luigi Vendramini. That's my people. He's an Italian. I'm an Italian. And if I'm Jacob, I make my pick because he's Italian and I move on. But I'm not Jacob. So this is a very interesting fight. So first of all, we have Fares Ziam. He's 11-3. He's 4-1 in his last 5. We have Luigi Vendramini, who is also 4-1 in his last 5. He's 9-1, and this fight is basically a pick'em. This is one of the harder fights on the card to pick. We have Fares, who likes to fight at range. He has great elbows if he is in the clinch. If he gets on top, he has some nice control, but on bottom, I don't see him doing too much. He's somewhat active, but I don't think he's doing a ton. And then we have Luigi. He's a feast or famine fighter. He has a 100% finish rate. All 9 of his wins ended in finish, and his loss ended in a finish. It is all or nothing, and everything is all or nothing, including his punches. Everything is with bad intentions, as well as his takedowns. When he shoots a double, he shoots a double. Everything is with 100% effort, and this is a tough fight to pick, but I am thinking that Luigi's raw power, Luigi's willingness to go out there and die will be the difference. I think he's going to push forward, dictate the pace, and Fares, who likes the range, isn't going to get the range because Luigi's going to be in his face throwing things at 100% effort. But this will be interesting. Daniel, what do you think?
I'm surprised you didn't segue that into just like me, Italians, they are just 100% effort,
handsome,
and grit, and
dark.
Well, I don't think you'd get that carried away, but I saw a lot of the same things you saw. So Ziam, he's definitely less. Well, no, they both have 2 fights in the UFC. I think they're both 1-1 in the UFC. So in terms of UFC experience, they're basically about the same. Ziam is very young, mid-20s. I know I say this all the time. Young fighters at that age, it's like they're sponges. If they have the right mentality, the right training camp, they can improve vastly in between fights. So anyways, he won his last fight against Jamie Mullarkey. He lost to Don Madge before that. Both were decisions. Ziam is definitely a very good striker, good kicks. He was a K1 champ, I think, at 18 years old. So he's got experience from a young age. He likes to be on the outside. Decent footwork. You can tell that's something that he wants to be a part of his game, but he's still a little hittable. He's got a bad habit of kind of backing up to the cage when he truly gets cornered off. And I would say his footwork sometimes can work against him because he moves away a little too much to where, you do that too much, you lose rounds. So the last fight against Mullarkey, he got taken down right away. But he had kind of I'll call it a sweep. It was more of a mistake for Mullarkey. Scrambled up. He was winning the striking in the first. Then the second round, it got a little closer, but he did get taken down a couple times, held down for a while, and almost gave his back up. So it looks like the wrestling could be a little bit of an issue for him. And then in going into the third round of that fight, Ziam kept trying to keep the distance, but Mullarkey just went full wrestling on him and got the takedown, finished the round, the entire first half of the round on top. Ziam did scramble up, but he got taken down again, almost mounted. So it was a very close fight. I thought Mullarkey won, to be honest. I may be biased on that because I think I may have bet on him in that fight too. But anyways, I rewatched it yesterday. I thought Mullarkey won that fight. It was close. But kind of my takeaway from it is the wrestling could be a potential hole in his game. Vendramini, on the other hand, he's not on the other hand, but on the same hand, he's also mid-20s. He's looked to wrestle in a lot of his fights. He won his last fight by KO, but his striking looks like it's still improving. It looked a little green, but tell you what, he knocked the guy out, got power, landed a good shot in an exchange. I think that was against Jesse Iari, so solid win. Fight before that, he fought Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. He lost by knockout in the second round. That's a very, very tough fight in your UFC debut. So, when I was breaking down tape on them, like I said, Vendramini came out right out of the gates against Iari, went for the takedown, didn't get it, landed a huge left hook in the exchange, followed up with a ton of punches, and then throw a head kick from basically 2 inches away, which this guy's got to be doing yoga or something because I can't even touch my toes. And he threw a head kick from like belly to belly with the guy. But more importantly, or as importantly, I liked his attitude. When he won that fight, he was amped. I think I heard him scream from here in Florida, and he was on Fight Island. So I think the kid is just tough. I like his attitude. I think he's going to be improving. And I just think he'll do well in this fight. So I do agree a little bit with the odds here that it's a pick'em, but I'm going to give the edge to Vendramini based off the wrestling, striking edge to Ziam for sure. But really, I think the X factor for me is just the physicality, the body type, and just the overall kind of aggression. I'm going to give that to Vendramini, and I think that's what's going to win him the fight. I think he's going to pressure Ziam, and I think, again, body types are important, right? When you're Ziam, who's tall and a little lanky, you get a guy who's strong and stays in your face over time. It's hard to defend takedowns. It's hard to keep them off you. So I'm going with Vendramini in this one. I don't think I'm going to touch it in DraftKings. Probably not going to bet it either. Just they're both minus.
Yeah.
I may look for something if the odds shift, but too close of a fight for me to really play much here. And then the more or less, I'm going to go with less on Ziam, and I'm going to go with more on Vendramini.
It's funny. So I talked about this in the recap video this past week. I've been playing everything we talk about, everything we say, we actually do, right? When we do our Monkey Knife Fight videos, those are the plays that we're making. Our drafting lineups are our actual lineups. Our betting guides are our actual bets. So what happened to me last weekend is the main event, for example, I had a bet, I had him in my DraftKings lineup, and I did Monkey Knife Fight. And what happens is you end up rooting for something incredibly specific. Like I needed so-and-so to win to hit my bet. I needed it to go over 2 rounds to hit my bet. I needed a ton of points in DraftKings, which means I want a stoppage, but I hit the more in Monkey Knife Fight. So I needed a lot of strikes to get there. I'm not doing that anymore. It's way too specific. So where I'm going is
that was feast or famine, to put it in your words.
It's just it was like a very specific thing needed to happen for me to win money and everything. So what I'm doing now is if this fight is perfect for it, I am going Monkey Knife Fight all in on this, right? Because the bet is too close. It's minus money on both sides. It's a very tight fight. DraftKings, again, it's very tight, and neither one of them are super cheap. So Monkey Knife Fight is perfect to me. I'm going to hit that line. If you've never done it, it is playmkf.com/wewantpicks. You basically, all you literally need to do when you log into the site, you will see exactly what you see on the screen, more or less. And then you just pick more or less for each one of these guys. And then you triple your money if you hit it. It is so easy. I am going to disagree with you, Dan. I'm going to go more. I do think Vendramini has the power, so there could potentially be a stoppage, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Fares is going to try to keep Vendramini away with his jab. So he's going to be throwing that out there like crazy to try to keep him away. But Vendramini's still going to work in, still going to get his takedowns and be super busy. So I'm going to play the more on this. And if I hit it, I will triple my money. If you've never done it, sign up. If you use promo code WWP, they will instantly match your deposit for free. So they'll just give you free money immediately. If you're nervous, just use the free money. Don't even use your real money. Use the free money, play with that, and then once you win, just keep playing with all the free money.
You know what I'm thinking as you're saying it, because I agree with you. More is not a bad play at all. I went less more just because I think Vendramini will probably hopefully get some takedowns. But as I'm thinking about it, I think this is going to be a 3-round fight. That's a lot of time for Ziam to get some strikes.
And it's every single strike, even the little nonsense pitter patter trying to defend a takedown against the cage. Every strike.
I may start doing 2 plays on one fight because you can still make money. So if I do more and then less more, if one of them hits, I'm plus money.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
simple
see
math.
this
If you
being
do
less.
$10, if
Right.
you play $10, you win 30. So if you play 10 twice, you've played 20 total, but you'll still win 30 on one of them, which means you're net up 10. You're up
So
50,
it's right.
50%.
It's right. But so there's, obviously
You can hedge on the ones you're nervous about.
right. But I don't see this being a less fight. I mean,
No.
unless somebody starts somebody, which could
Could
happen.
Vendramini does have power. It is possible. And he's only had finishes, but that can't last forever.
Right. Ziam's just going to be looking to stay away. And
it's his whole game plan.
Yeah.
He's a decision fighter. Yep. Right. So that's my play. We both picked Luigi Vendramini in this fight. Let's move on to the next one.
Check out our betting video. We're going to do that next, but we're also going to do one later this week. So as these lines move and as props swing, we'll have our final betting guide out on, what are we doing, it Thursday or Friday? So
we do it Friday, drop it. Yeah.
We've got a few ready for you today that we liked, but I generally have a bunch more by the end of the week, after weigh-ins, and just there's a lot we learned throughout the week. So check those as well for anyone who wants to check out Bet Online.